Hello, Willow Lake third grade families. I'm so excited that you are here today with me for our virtual back to school night. I have a little presentation that I made that I'm going to walk you through by sharing my screen. We are going to touch on a few key things to know about your child's virtual learning experience. First of all, a few things about me, a few things that I love. I, of course, love my students, and that is why I put this picture of me with an apple. That apple traditionally symbolizes teaching and students. So that's why I added that picture there. And next, I wanted to share a little bit about my family and friends. This is my family, my mom, Ann, my dad, Elton, and my little brother, Ryan. This is a picture of them at NASA in Florida. Last, I love doing fun things outdoors. That love of the outdoors started in Vermont. That is where I am from. I have a picture here of Vermont in the fall. It is one of the most beautiful things that I have ever seen. I've been doing things outside in Indiana, and I have been going on lots of adventures in my new town. First, I want to go over our virtual learning schedule and the expectations for each day. Each day we have 3 live lessons, and each one are equally important. Now we start off with morning meeting at 8 o'clock, and we end with math. That means your child needs to be on Zoom at their live lessons from 8 to 11:30 every day. We start off with morning meeting at 8, and this is so important for your child because that is when we build our community. We share about ourselves, we play games, and we do some very crucial social emotional learning. It's a chance for your child to learn some skills such as greetings or sharing or public speaking. Now, morning meeting seems like, oh, well, maybe it's not as important as reading or math. That is not true. I love to see many students at morning meeting because, again, it builds that community. The idea that morning meeting is not an actual lesson is not true. Morning meeting is so important for your child's social emotional learning. Now, next is reading at 8:30. Reading always starts off with a live read aloud, and then we move into stations. After stations, we have a wrap up and an independent assignment for your child. After that, we have math. Math looks similar. We have a warm up all together. We have some targeted instruction based on what the students need. And then we move into stations where they will see their mini lesson and have their new learning. At the end, we'll do a wrap up and your child will have an independent math assignment. The afternoon is pre-recorded video lessons. We have writing, word work specials, and social studies. Writing is at 12:35, word work is at 1:05, specials 2:05, and social studies or science is at 2:35. With that being said, since these are pre-recorded video lessons, they are flexible. I highly suggest that your child sticks to this outline schedule because routine is so good for our students. I do understand, however, that schedules can be tricky in this time of virtual learning for both parents and students. I am okay if your child would like to do their work once you are home at night with them or whatever your schedule may look like. If you would like to help your student with their pre-recorded video lessons, it's okay if this time frame does not work for you. I am flexible as long as my students are doing each assignment for each subject. As far as assignments go, on Canvas, we have 1 assignment daily for each of the subjects. With 5 subjects, that results in 25 assignments per week. I've talked to the students and I've explained that it might sound like a lot, 25 might sound like a lot, but these assignments are important check-ins to monitor their learning and their progress. On Skyward, you will see your students' grades. Grades are A through F. And reading, writing, math, and content will get 1 to 2 grades per week. Some weeks they will have more grades. Some weeks they will have larger grades. But there will be 1 to 2 grades per week. Do not go on Canvas for your child's grades. Go on Skyward. You need to be checking in on Skyward and keeping track, not on Canvas. The Canvas grades are not accurate. As far as missing assignments, students can keep track on Canvas. They have a to-do list on Canvas, but they should be prioritizing Skyward missing assignments. When I preview our Canvas course, I will show you all where to find those missing assignments if you see on Skyward that you have an F, or even if you have a grade that's kind of lower than you want, you can go back and make that work up. So speaking of Canvas, I am going to keep sharing my screen, but share my Canvas course with you all so that you can have a better understanding of what your student does every day. Now, like I said, we start off with our morning meeting. Students access morning meeting by clicking on Zoom. Again, they stay on Zoom from 8 to 11:30 each day. For reading, the students will be on Zoom for the live lesson, and then they move into station time. Their stations are outlined here. During stations, they have 3 rotations that I guide them through. They have guided reading, Lexia or Epic, and a mini lesson with Mr. Sherman. That mini lesson is recorded by me for literacy and other teachers for other subjects, but it is watched with Mr. Sherman. That's so we can ensure that the students are taking all that they can away from the mini lesson since it is new instruction. Now for each day, there is a assignment page. So let's look at Wednesday, for example. I can look on Wednesday and see what all my jobs are. So like I said, we have that main lesson, station activities with the mini lesson that we can always view. If you miss it with Mr. Sherman, you can go back and view it yourself. That's the nice thing about this. And then you have your assignment. It's super clear to the students what their assignment is. They click on the assignment button, and this again can be done independently. So that's our reading page. We have our page for math as well, where the students can see their station groups, see the station rotations. They are similar to literacy. We have guided math, Dreambox, and a mini lesson for new instruction. We'll look at Wednesday again. For Wednesday's math, you'll see that the students know they have that main lesson with me. They do their stations, and then they do their assignment. They can always go back and watch that mini lesson. Of course, math and reading are a little bit heavier. They are with me live for these two, so those pages look a bit differently. Let's take a peek at content, for example. When you get to content, it's set up the same way where you go to the day of the week and you select that day of the week, and that's where you'll find all your work for the day. The assignment is here. Again, I'm so proud of the students for working hard to navigate this Canvas page. They've been learning this routine and they have blown me away, and they have amazed me with their patience and their tech skills. So again, that was just an example of our social studies page, but all of these pages function the same way. Feel free to hop on your students' Canvas course anytime to play around, look around, and check in on your student. The Canvas pages are just as much for the parents as they are for the students. You'll just find some things about our day here and some resources if you need them, like a class schedule, a class list, or another way that you can access Zoom. Here's our special schedule, and a few things like E&L services for those who need them, our class dojo link, and just an information letter if you ever need a refresher. My contact info can always be found down here. I wanted to touch on classroom seating and arrangements that will be taking place when we do return in person. I am so excited to have the students back in person, but it will be a bit different than normal. Normally, I honor each of my students by allowing them to have flexible seating. If a child needs to stand and work at one of these taller desks you see, I am okay with that. If a student needs to sit at a lower seat on the ground like this, or maybe even the floor, I am okay with meeting their needs. In fact, I want to honor my students by meeting those needs. Now, with that being said, normally my classroom seating is flexible. It is less flexible now during COVID learning. When we return back to school, the students will not be able to function like they normally would, moving around, or even stretching and getting up and walking. They will need to remain at their seat to keep everyone safe. They are spread out, as you can see, and they will be assigned one seat that will not change. Of course, if they need to go get a drink or go to the bathroom, they are allowed to, but it is not free roaming like it normally might be. Again, each student will have an assigned seat, and for their safety, they will not be allowed to leave that assigned seat freely. I wanted to touch on one last thing before I finish this video up. I wanted to touch on communication. Now, communication typically happens through email, phone call, or Class Dojo. We are switching out Class Dojo for Parent Square. And Parent Square is replacing Class Dojo for all communication beginning September 14th. With that being said, it won't be an automatic switch. That's just when we're starting the rollout. You'll get all sorts of information about Parent Square, but keep going to Dojo and keep looking at your email until then. It won't be a switch that you won't know about. I'll give you directions on Class Dojo about Parent Square. So it will not be you hopping on the computer, expecting to go on Class Dojo and not being able to find anything. It will be very clear how to transition from Class Dojo to Parent Square. With that being said, I want to remind you to always reach out to me with any questions or concerns. I am highly available through email, but I am also available through phone call. If you call, just leave a message if it is in the morning and I am live. But if it is an immediate need, shoot me an email. I'm likely to get back to you very quickly as we are on the computer all day. Thank you again for coming to watch this video and being so invested in your child's learning. Now, I am, again, so honored to be your child's teacher. I'm looking forward to being back together in the classroom again, and I'm really proud of the flexibility and the patience that we have had and will continue to have while virtual learning is happening. I tell the students every day that I am so happy that they are here in my class. It's actually how I close every morning message. I am so happy that you are here. Love, Miss Bryce. I want my students to feel like they are each a crucial part of our community. With that being said, I thank you for being here today, and I thank you for being so involved in your child's education. Reach out anytime. I look forward to hearing from you.